The first warning came as a shimmer across the sky, fleets of alien ships materializing above Earth like dark clouds swallowing the sun. Cities held their breath. Satellites flickered and died. Every eye turned upward, and in that moment humanity realized we were no longer observers of the cosmos. We were the target. Commander Elena Vargas stared at the approaching armada from her orbital station, heart pounding, mind racing. One miscalculation, one hesitation, and Earth would be nothing more than a memory. The Council had crossed the line, underestimated the stubborn spark that made humans human, the refusal to bend, to bow, to be controlled. Weapons hummed, shields flared, and the first strike streaked toward the Pacific. And yet, in the chaos, there was something unshakable. A daring thought that refused to be silenced. If Earth fell, humanity's story would end. But what if, against every law of the galaxy, we could turn the impossible into triumph? Could one species defy a fleet, a council, an entire cosmos, and win? The morning sunlight spilled across Earth's northern continents, touching skyscrapers and forests alike, casting a golden glow over a planet unaware of the storm about to arrive. On the surface, life moved in familiar rhythms. Farmers tended crops with calloused hands. Engineers fine-tuned satellites that hummed silently in orbit. And children chased each other through parks, their laughter echoing like a fragile promise. Earth seemed ordinary. Too ordinary for a species about to be tested beyond comprehension. Commander Elena Vargas moved through the corridors of the orbital station like a shadow of purpose. To anyone observing, she was simply one of the countless humans ensuring Earth's technology functioned smoothly, but behind her calm exterior was a mind constantly calculating probabilities, tracing invisible threads of possibility across the galaxy. This was her world, precision, preparation, and the quiet devotion to keeping millions alive. Yet she had no illusions. Something was coming. Something big. Her day had begun like any other, running diagnostics on the station's defensive systems, reviewing simulations of cosmic anomalies, and coordinating with Earth's Planetary Defense Council. The hum of machinery and flickering of control panels created a rhythm that grounded her. She drew comfort from it, the same way a sailor trusts the sway of the sea, even when a storm is brewing. Outside, the stars shimmered in deceptive tranquility. The Council's fleets had long been a distant rumor, a ghost story whispered among space academies and military strategists. Humanity had learned to listen carefully to the universe, to anticipate the subtle signs. But the Council was no ordinary threat. They had ruled star systems with iron precision, conquering worlds and bending civilizations to their will. And they had never faced humans. Elena paused at a viewport, her gaze tracing the curvature of Earth. Cities sprawled below, teeming with life, unaware of the shadows gathering above. She remembered her childhood on Mars, studying star charts while her peers played games in dusty colonies. Back then, she had dreamed of humanity reaching the stars. Now, that dream was about to be tested in ways no simulation could prepare her for. In the briefing room, her team gathered. Young engineers, veteran pilots, and planetary defense strategists, each one a cog in the intricate machinery designed to keep Earth safe. Their faces were calm but tense, aware that the next challenge might define them for the rest of their lives. Elena addressed them not with commands, but with a quiet conviction. They think we can be controlled. They think we will bend. Let them see how wrong they are. Every movement, every calculation, was a preparation for the storm. The Council's emissaries had already sent messages across the galaxy, polite in tone, but laced with veiled threats. Humanity, they believed, was predictable, controllable, a species to be measured, contained, and ruled. But humans were never meant to be predictable. Our genius was our chaos, our courage, our most powerful weapon. On the surface, ordinary lives carried on. A mother kissed her child goodbye, unaware that orbital strikes could obliterate entire cities in minutes. A team of engineers laughed over misaligned satellite dishes, oblivious that one small misstep could be catastrophic. And yet, in these ordinary acts, there was resilience, a quiet heroism that no alien fleet could calculate. Humanity was preparing in ways the Council could never foresee, through instinct, courage, and the unwavering refusal to be broken. Elena returned to her console, eyes scanning the data streams. Every signal from Earth's defenses, every anomaly in orbit, every heartbeat of the planet itself became a note in the symphony she conducted. This was no ordinary mission. Humanity's very survival depended on the decisions made in the next hours. She felt the weight of billions on her shoulders, yet the resolve within her burned brighter than any fear. The first subtle tremors in the data appeared, a distant shimmer in orbit, the faintest indication that something massive was approaching. Elena leaned closer, mind racing. The Council had arrived, and with them the greatest challenge humanity had ever faced. But for all their power, all their precision, they had forgotten one truth. Humans were not designed to bow, and Earth was not designed to fall. In that quiet moment, as stars glittered innocently beyond the viewport, Elena whispered to herself, "Let them come. Let them see what humans can do when they think we're ordinary." The Council's fleet did not announce its arrival. One moment the sky was a peaceful black, dotted with distant stars. The next, hundreds of alien warships appeared in perfect formation above Earth, eclipsing the sun and casting the planet in an eerie shadow. Cities trembled, and the hum of technology in orbit turned to alarm. Humanity had expected threats, calculated probabilities, run simulations, but nothing could prepare a species for the cold precision of a force that viewed entire worlds as disposable. Commander Elena Vargas gripped the edge of her console, eyes scanning the incoming data streams. "They're bigger than predicted," she murmured, "and their coordination flawless." Her team, engineers, pilots, and tacticians stiffened in unison. Every heartbeat pulsed with urgency. Every decision now could mean life or extinction. The Council's first strike was clinical. Plasma beams lanced from orbit, obliterating satellites, severing communication networks, and throwing cities into chaos. Panic rippled through the planet below, but Elena's voice, calm yet unwavering, cut through the tension. "Activate the decoys. Deploy the drones. Protect the civilians. Humanity does not bow." Engineers scrambled to repurpose civilian spacecraft. Mining vessels, research shuttles, and cargo freighters were retrofitted into makeshift combat platforms. Magnetic grapplers, improvised shields, and experimental energy pulses turned humble ships into weapons capable of harassing the Council's massive fleet. Humans adapted faster than the aliens could anticipate. What the Council saw as chaos was actually genius, the audacity and resourcefulness that defined Earth's people. From her orbital station, Elena coordinated orbital defenses like a conductor directing an orchestra. Each satellite became a node in a vast, improvised network, channeling energy to shield cities and target enemy weak points. She issued commands with precision. "Satellite Delta, redirect power to the northern grid. Freighter Cluster Echo, engage the plasma interceptors. Civilian Pilot Vega, draw their flank toward Sector 9. Outside, the void of space became a battlefield. Swarms of drones darted between enormous warships, striking with surgical accuracy. Human pilots navigated asteroid fields and debris clouds, weaving impossible maneuvers that turned disadvantage into advantage. One cargo freighter, modified with magnetic pulse emitters, disabled 3 Council ships in a single pass, forcing a ripple of chaos through the enemy formation. The Council escalated. Their bioengineered enforcers, massive, insectoid, and merciless, descended toward Earth's surface, tearing through orbital defenses with terrifying efficiency. Humanity responded with the ingenuity that had always defined it. Engineers repurposed skyscrapers into energy amplifiers, channeling plasma bursts to strike at the creatures. Pilots flew low, weaving through city canyons, drawing the enforcers into traps designed with precision, yet executed in breathtaking improvisation. Amid the chaos, civilians played a vital role. Scientists, volunteers, and even school-aged prodigies contributed in ways the Council could never anticipate. Every sensor recalibrated, every emergency algorithm improvised, every human life, willing or coerced, became a force multiplier. The aliens could crush one city, one fleet, one unit. But they could not account for humanity's unpredictability, the instinctive creativity that emerged under pressure. In orbit, Elena watched as the Council's flagship maneuvered with terrifying elegance. Its energy shields glowed with a deadly light, capable of obliterating entire continents in seconds. She calculated the odds, ran mental simulations, and weighed the sacrifices required. "We can't outgun them," she said aloud. "We can only outthink them." Her team nodded. This was not a war of strength, but of wit, courage, and audacity. Human ingenuity manifested in astonishing ways. Orbital debris was rigged as kinetic projectiles, hurtling toward enemy hulls at unimaginable speeds. Satellites fired concentrated pulses that disabled engines mid-flight. A mining vessel, piloted by a team of volunteers, executed a slingshot maneuver around the moon, striking the Council's rear formation where their shields were weakest. Small victories mounted, creating pockets of hope in the midst of destruction. And yet, the Council adapted. Each human tactic was met with countermeasures, each maneuver anticipated. The galaxy's most advanced empire was relentless, its commanders calculating, its forces near perfect. Fear crept into the human ranks, whispered through comm channels, "Are we truly capable of surviving this?" But in those moments, humanity's defining trait shone brightest, courage in the face of impossible odds. The battle intensified as the Council deployed planetary disruptors, weapons capable of triggering earthquakes, tsunamis, and storms with a thought. Earth quaked beneath their might. Cities fell, yet humanity refused to kneel. Engineers and strategists devised ways to redirect energy flows, stabilize tectonic plates with rapid response satellites, and convert disaster into opportunity. Every collapsed building, every damaged city block, became a fortress, a platform, a shield for the next strike. Amid this chaos, Elena led a boarding team to infiltrate one of the Council's capital ships. Her team, a mix of elite soldiers, engineers, and volunteers, navigated magnetic corridors and energy fields with calculated precision. The Council's security forces, genetically engineered and merciless, engaged them in combat designed to break morale. But humans fought not for survival alone. They fought for Earth, for home, for the spark of life that refused to be extinguished. The boarding was perilous. Explosions rocked the hull, alarms blared, and the alien forces adapted in real time. Elena directed her team with calm authority, improvising tactics on the fly. One soldier rigged the ship's core to overload, while another lured patrol units into trapped corridors. Time was measured in seconds, decisions in milliseconds, and failure was extinction. Outside, Earth's combined defenses targeted the flagship's weak points, firing in perfect synchronization. Plasma streams collided with shields, energy pulses disrupted communications, and humans executed maneuvers no simulation could predict. Every victory was temporary. Every loss was painful. And yet, humanity endured, turning fear into focus, chaos into strategy, and desperation into brilliance. As the boarding team reached the core, the Council's flagship shuddered. Systems failed, corridors collapsed, and alarms echoed through the void. Elena's voice rang over the comms. "Hold your positions. We finish this, or nothing survives. Humanity does not break." And then, the unimaginable. The flagship began to destabilize. Energy readings spiked, shields flickered, and the massive structure started to tear itself apart from within. But one final defense remained, a massive energy core set to detonate in seconds. The countdown began, ticking toward extinction. Elena's team had one choice: risk everything to disable it. One mistake, and humanity's survival would vanish in a single instant. Sweat-streaked faces, fingers flew over consoles, magnetic grapplers strained, and the void seemed to hold its breath. Seconds felt like hours. And in that moment, the galaxy seemed to pause, waiting to see if a single species could defy the impossible. The countdown reached a critical point. The ship's core glowed brighter than any star, threatening to turn Earth's sky into fire. Every human action mattered. Every heartbeat, every breath, every calculated risk could tip the balance between annihilation and triumph. Would humanity's audacity be enough to survive the galaxy's greatest test? Yet even in triumph, the stakes remained palpable. Earth bore scars, cities leveled, millions displaced, and the sky littered with debris from the battle above. The galaxy watched, uncertain, awestruck, and perhaps afraid. Humanity had shattered the Council's might, but the echoes of war would ripple across the stars for decades. The cost of victory was immense, but the lesson was clear. Humans could not be controlled, predicted, or destroyed. Elena's voice broke the silence across comm channels, calm yet resonant. Earth stands. Humanity survives. Let this be a warning. We are not pawns. We are not to be underestimated. We are humans. And then, a moment of quiet. The stars shimmered in silence, reflecting the fires of a shattered flagship and the unbroken will of a planet united. The galaxy had witnessed something extraordinary. Humanity had faced annihilation and emerged, battered but unbowed. In that moment, there was awe. An understanding that one species, driven by ingenuity, courage, and relentless spirit, could defy the impossible. As the dust settled, one thought lingered in every human mind. If we could face the might of a galactic empire and prevail, what else could we achieve? The answer, unspoken but undeniable, burned brighter than any star. Anything. The smoke had barely cleared when the magnitude of humanity's victory began to sink in. From orbital stations to ruined city streets, every human being felt it. The weight of survival, the thrill of triumph, and the undeniable proof that we were a species unlike any other in the galaxy. Commander Elena Vargas stepped onto the observation deck, eyes tracing the remnants of the shattered Council flagship drifting across the void. The emptiness of space was now a canvas, painted with the fire and courage of humans who refused to bow. On Earth, survivors emerged from the rubble. Families reunited, strangers helped strangers, and communities rebuilt with determination that seemed almost superhuman. Entire cities had been leveled, yet the human spirit remained unbroken. Engineers salvaged twisted metal to reconstruct vital infrastructure. Scientists restored communication networks. Children laughed and played amidst ruins, a testament to life continuing, even in the shadow of catastrophe. Humanity's resilience was visible in every act, from the quiet bravery of medics treating the injured to the daring ingenuity of engineers repurposing destroyed satellites into emergency energy relays. The galaxy was watching. Planets long ruled by the Council whispered of rebellion, inspired by the audacity of a single species that dared defy the impossible. Across the stars, whispers became stories, and stories became legends. Humans had shown that courage, intelligence, and determination could topple even the mightiest of empires. What had been considered an anomaly, a blue planet clinging stubbornly to life, was now a symbol of hope, ingenuity, and defiance. Elena moved through the aftermath with quiet solemnity, checking in with her team. Some wept openly, overcome by relief. Others silently cataloged damage and loss. Every life saved, every human who had stood against the Council's might, carried weight beyond comprehension. Humanity had won, yes, but at a cost that was impossible to ignore. Yet even in grief, there was pride. Humanity had faced annihilation and emerged stronger. The orbital station, once a hub of tension and strategy, became a monument to collaboration and courage. Engineers and pilots celebrated small victories, a successfully recalibrated energy grid, a recovered freighter, a message sent across the stars announcing Earth's survival. Each achievement reinforced a truth that would echo for generations. Humans adapt. Humans endure. Humans create miracles in the midst of despair. Rebuilding efforts on the surface were extraordinary. Cities that had crumbled into dust became foundations for innovation. Schools reopened, laboratories thrived, and communities harnessed the lessons of battle to prepare for future threats. Humanity had faced the ultimate test, and instead of retreating into fear, we chose to grow, to evolve, and to inspire. The scars on Earth were reminders not of defeat, but of the price of courage, the weight of hope, and the strength of unity. Across the galaxy, former Council-controlled planets began to stir with rebellion. Species once subjugated took note of humans, seeing in our defiance a blueprint for liberation. Humans had not merely survived, they had become a catalyst for change, a beacon that reminded the cosmos that no empire, however vast, could suppress the spark of freedom and ingenuity inherent in life. Back on Earth, Elena reflected on the journey. She had watched ordinary people become extraordinary in the face of annihilation. Engineers, pilots, and civilians alike had harnessed fear, transforming it into determination. Humanity's ingenuity had turned chaos into opportunity, desperation into strategy, and threat into triumph. She understood now why the Council had never faced a species like ours. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and capable of hope in situations that would crush others. In quiet moments, as stars shimmered above the planet, the survivors spoke in whispers of the unimaginable, how a single species, armed with courage and brilliance, had shattered a galactic empire. Across Earth, communities celebrated not just survival, but mastery of adversity. Artisans and writers began chronicling the heroism of those days, while scientists documented the technical brilliance that had turned near-certain death into victory. Humanity's story, once seen as fragile, had become awe-inspiring, a testament to the power of will and intellect. Elena gazed out at the horizon, feeling the wind on her face and the pulse of a world that refused to die. She knew the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. We had faced annihilation, stared into the heart of a cold, calculating empire, and emerged victorious, not through brute force alone, but through ingenuity, courage, and the unyielding spark that defines us. And as the first signs of dawn bathed Earth in gold, one thought resonated across every mind. If humans could defy a galactic empire, what else could we achieve? The answer was not uncertain. It burned brighter than any star, stronger than any fleet, and more enduring than any empire. Humanity could accomplish anything. Humanity had endured. Humanity had triumphed. Humanity had become the storm the cosmos would never forget. And as Earth healed, its people dared to dream bigger, reach further, and defy even greater odds. The galaxy had witnessed the unbreakable heart of a species that would not bow, and in doing so, had learned a truth it could never unsee. Humans are unstoppable.